It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in. We are in West Memphis. Welcome to September. Welcome to, a little bit of a change here at Meadowbrook Country Club. Still a country club, but now it will be open to all of you. It is going semi-private. This is a place that began in 1959. I've had the privilege of playing it several times with members. I'm going to do that a little bit later today as well. I look around the place, all these friendly smiles. There's Mark Bartlett. He used to be on the tour. I think Eli and Greg are going out there. I believe that Bartlett has the course record at 61. I think Gaston can get there in 9 holes. I truly believe that that is the case. On a serious note, though, it's a great place. It's fun. If you've never played this golf course, it is now really affordable, especially if you come today and you tell Mark Bartlett or his beautiful little assistant here that I listen to Sports 56. You can play today only, for $39. That includes the golf cart. I mean, you can't beat it. And I'm going to tell you, this can be tough. Slope rating of 137, par 71. It is really a cool place. So here's the new deal. It's normally going to be $59. Come today, play it for $39. The cool thing is you can become a member, by the way. It's $350 a month. The cool thing is this. It is a country club. It's really in good condition. Just play it once. You're going to come back, and now it's affordable. So this is really an opportunity to get to know Meadowbrook, as many of us have over all the years. We got a really busy show today, that is for sure. So today opened for me with heartbreak, as usual. The ACC is going forth with their plans to expand, which, by the way, was explained beautifully by Eli a little bit ago. The ACC has this crazy television rights package through 2036. In order to keep it, which keeps Clemson and Florida State here because of the financial penalty, they had to add teams. So they added today Cal and Stanford, who, by the way, are going to get about a third of the revenue for the next 7 years. That was part of the deal. So all these other teams still prosper. And the SMU is coming in for, what percentage would you say, Wolo? Maybe Memphis got the same offer. What would that percentage be? 0. SMU, with an endowment over $1 billion, can afford not to get any television revenue. That would be, in the American in that time period, around $50 million. I guess these other schools, I think they're going to make about $30 million a year for those 7 years. Let's just say $200 million. SMU can turn their back on that money. Memphis cannot. That's the thing. There's still, by the way, 17 football-playing schools. That's an odd number. Maybe someday, sooner or later, because the dominoes continue to fall, maybe someday, sooner or later, Memphis, keep winning, they will be able to get into a conference that will pay a decent amount of money and have teams that will absolutely excite the fan base. That's the worst thing about the AAC. It's really not a bad league. Look, Texas San Antonio, we hope Memphis meets them in the championship game of the conference. Texas San Antonio is the favorite at Houston this weekend. Now, no one is excited about playing Texas San Antonio like we were to play Houston. Truth is, on paper, preseason here, it's Texas San Antonio is the better team. It's the television revenue, which is the most important. And the second is being in a league with people that you know that excite the fan base. And unfortunately, at this very moment, Memphis is not there. But as we were reminded by the president a little while ago, and the AD, these things are fluid. It's not ending. Just get ready. Don't throw in the towel. That's the only advice I can give. Team USA held on this morning in their FIBA World Cup thing. Tough day with rebounds for Triple J. Did other things, and they win. We'll talk to Andy Schiffman about that. Brian Dacos will join us about this conference expansion and the Tigers versus Bethune-Cookman. That is going to come your way to end the show. We got Glenn Rogers on high school football here in a minute. Family Leisure Studios have moved. They are now in West Memphis at Meadowbrook Country Club. A reminder, I told you they're going to change sales, and they have done it. We got the world's biggest spa sale, back and bigger than ever before at Family Leisure. So go check it out. You got spa models all over the place, 50 different kinds to choose from. Just get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Our title sponsor, you know it's Homer Skelton Hyundai. That is in Olive Branch, Mississippi, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 Lamar. It's close. It's 10, 12 minutes away, right there on the lot. Plenty of pre-owned cars. We're back to pre-COVID numbers. And the pre-owned cars, by the way, the price is going down. Genesis cars. Yeah, they sell Genesis cars at Homer Skelton Hyundai, and you can get a G70 with a $1,000 rebate if you finance from Genesis. And all the new technology with all these Hyundais that seem to last forever, they are all in perfect place. Right there at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. All right, we are so busy today. There's Billy Woods, former editor of the West Memphis Times, now retired. All he does is play golf out here, I think. But a good fella, and I'm going to play with him a little bit later today. All right, Jame, are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right. We got lots to do here before we bring in Glenn Rogers Jr. We are going to start with picking the Tigers game by game as we had promised. So, I will go first. You ready?
I'm ready.
Bethune-Cookman's at W at Arkansas State. Now, that's a big game. You know that the Red Wolves are going to be in desperation mode. Butch Jones, I think, is fighting for his coaching life, and they're going to get beaten up. What's the line there? It's like 30-something that Oklahoma is the favorite
36
against Arkansas State at home. 36, even worse. I think the Red Wolves might cover that. Anyway, we're not doing that game. I think Memphis is going to win that game. I think they'll win Navy. That'll be handily. They go to St. Louis. They got to take on Missouri. That's tough. Last time physicality really caught up with Memphis. This is not the same Missouri team, and that was a Memphis team that lost their poise early in the game. This one will be close. I'm going to give Missouri the edge. They come back and they beat Boise State. That is the way to recover. Now, they're not overlooking Tulane. Tulane hasn't beaten Memphis at home since 1998. Memphis has a hard time in New Orleans, not such a hard time at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. That's a W. Now they're feeling really good about themselves. They go for the old Battle of the Bones against UAB in their new stadium. Tigers get tripped up there. They're bummed out from that. They got to go play in Denton first time they play at North Texas since old days. I think they lose there. Then they go crazy. They knock off South Florida in a big way. They go to Charlotte. They win that game. They beat SMU in a game that might be set up for second place in the American. Then they got Temple at Temple. They're going to knock Philly back a mile, and they end up 9-3 and good enough to get into the championship game to take on Texas San Antonio. Well, that's the scenario that I've got, 9-3.
We've got similar scenarios there, Dave, but we get there in a different way. I've got winning against Bethune-Cookman in week one. Pretty easy game, probably the easiest game I've ever seen the Tigers play. At Arkansas State, I also have them winning that one. A tough game, like you said. I think they beat Navy. They lose to Missouri, and Boise State coming to Memphis, I have them winning that game. So they go into a bye. Off the bye, though, still isn't enough to beat Tulane on that Friday. They lose that one. They win at UAB, win at North Texas, win at USF, win at Charlotte. They win at home against SMU, so I've got them winning 5 straight there. But the last week of the year at Temple, tough place to play. It's their senior day. I've got them losing at Temple the last week of the year, 9-3.
We both have them 9-3. You've got them losing to Tulane at home. That would buck a trend that is 25 5 years in the making. All right, let's see how we are. Both of us had Utah last night, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
Against Florida?
Big time.
I've got to say this. We don't have a lot of time to talk too much about that game. But I heard Eli Savoy call that Larry Porter-esque in the way that Florida looked. There is no denying, because I thought that the Billy Napier hire was a good hire. I really did. I thought he would have great success at Florida. He is really disappointed. Not only that, that team looked like a poorly coached team. Guys with wrong numbers, illegal formations. Right? You just can't do that at the SEC level. That was about as disappointing and poorly coached a game as I have seen in a long time. It's going to be a tough year for Florida. The other thing, Matt Rule's got this, I don't know, kind of up-down reputation, quite honestly. Nebraska, did you see what happened at Nebraska last night?
I saw a dropped pass that turned into a touchdown.
A touchdown and a field goal in the last 2 minutes, and Nebraska blew the game. Minnesota wins 13-10. That was absolutely nutso the way that went. All right, let's get this really quick. I'm going to start with the best game of the week. That's Sunday night, LSU, Florida State. LSU. You know what? That's the one game I forgot to put the line down on. What? I like LSU in the game no matter what.
2.5.
What's the line on that game?
2.5 for LSU.
So LSU's minus 2.5 in a game that was terrific. I just heard Brandon Lang. He's all in on Florida State. Everybody's in on Florida State but me. I like Brian Kelly. I think they're going to win the SEC West. That's how much I like that team, and I think they're going to beat Florida State in Orlando.
Well, put me down for that one as well. I also like LSU in this game. I think they beat Florida State, and I think they cover that spread.
All right, so you and I, wow, alike in that one. Virginia at Tennessee. The Vols are having to give away 27.5. I think that's pretty easy. I don't think that'll be a problem at all. I'll take the Vols.
I'm also going to take the Vols in this one. I hate betting week one in college football because you're always taking favorites, but it seems like that's an easy one this week. I'm taking Tennessee.
North Carolina against South Carolina. That is in Charlotte. The Tar Heels are giving away 2.5. I think it's going to be a terrific game. I think that line is just right. It's a field goal, maybe a touchdown, and that is exactly what North Carolina is going to win by. Give me the Tar Heels.
I also have the Tar Heels in this one. I like South Carolina fine. I was excited about them last year, but not enough for me. I'm taking UNC.
Man, West Virginia at Penn State in Happy Valley. The Penn State Lions are about a 20.5-point favorite. I think that's enough. West Virginia is not going to be able to do battle with a Big Ten team trying to make a point. I'll take Penn State. Give away the points.
I'm also going to take Penn State in this one. 20.5, real close to 3 scores. I'm taking Penn State.
Oh, my gosh. Clemson at Duke. Clemson gives away 12.5. Clemson will try to make a statement early because they want to be in the playoff mix with Florida State, especially if Florida State wins. Of course, that game is on Monday, so they'll know. So I'm going to take Clemson at Duke and give away the points.
I'm also going to take Clemson in this one.
What?
I just don't have a lot of. I don't really know any player on Duke. I can't name one, and so I'm just going to take Clemson. People are high on them.
Well, I was 3-0, and you were 1-2 last week.
That's right.
And every one of these are on the money here the same way. That's hard to believe. All right, you'll probably go different here. Northwestern at Rutgers. Rutgers is giving away 6.5 at home. Northwestern in total disarray from this culture of weirdness. I guess that's the best way I'll put it. I can't bet on Rutgers. I can't bet anything on Rutgers. They shouldn't even be in the Big Ten. Worse facilities. Crazy. As nutso as Northwestern is, that's a Sunday game too. They're getting 6.5. I'm doing this more with my heart. I'm going Northwestern.
Mine's not even a heart play here, Dave. I think this narrative that Northwestern can't even field a team this year because of all this outside noise, I think it's extremely overblown. And for Rutgers to be favored by 7 points in the first week of the season, I think is a joke. I'm taking Northwestern as well here, plus 6.5.
Oh, my gosh. So we don't have any disagreement.
Not yet. We got one more game.
What? No, we don't.
Oh, no, we did Penn State.
What
I'm
did we
sorry.
miss?
No, you did. You got them all. I'm sorry. I forgot we already did Penn State. Yeah, we're all the same.
Wow. That has never happened before
Not
in
once.
the history of our picking.
Not once.
Wow. Those teams are doomed, I think.
You know what? They really might be. That's so
trouble.
true.
That's terrible. All right, we got Glenn Rogers coming your way in a minute to talk some high school football. He is brought to you by the good folks at Conway. Cooling or heating system on the fritz, dripping faucet. You can call the pros at Conway today. Waive the service call fee with any HVAC or plumbing repair. That's right, they're doing this just for us. Expert technicians available 7 days a week. All you got to do is call 384-3511. Schedule that appointment. Tell them you heard it from us. Or you can go to visitconwayservices.com. You get the details, the terms, and the conditions. We love chatting high school football. Man, there's 3 incredible games, even a couple more beyond that. This is a big week as it's week 3 in high school football. Glenn Rogers Jr., I guess you're on your way to Nashville, close to Nashville, about to leave for Nashville because you got Brentwood tonight. Good morning. How are you, Coach?
Good morning, Dave and Jay. We're headed to Montgomery Bell tonight, Dave. We haven't left yet. We're going to pull up probably around 12:40, close to 1 o'clock. But exciting times, week 3, and we're 2-0, and just a lot of buzz around the program, and a real big ball game tonight. Just excited for our kids to get back on the field.
Okay, so MUS is at Montgomery Bell. They're 0-2, which is a little surprising for them. You guys are 2-0. What's critical tonight for you to win?
Well, you know, they're the best 0-2 team we face. A lot of pride and tradition in that program. It'll be a big home crowd tonight. They'll be anxious to try to get their first win. You know, we got to stop the run and control the ball on offense and run the ball. And then on defense, we got to tackle, prevent the big plays, and we really got to do a good job of staying disciplined in our gaps because they got a running back that's very, very explosive, and he's a powerful and fast guy.
All right, let's get to the key game, and that is Germantown 2-0 against the Houston team. There's your rivalry. It is at Houston, and the Mustangs are 1-1. Germantown's the number 1 team in the Dandy Dozen. I got a feeling this is going to be a heck of a ball game. I know you're high on Gene Robinson, their coach. This team has so far lived up to the billing. I suspect they will tonight as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, Dave, this is going to be a war tonight. You know, Coach Thomas at Houston and Gene Robinson at Germantown, you can tell, you can just feel in the atmosphere the rival that's brewing between these two schools. And I tell you, Dave, this is going to be well worth the price of admission. A lot of explosive players on both sides of the ball with Morrow from Germantown and the explosive running game from Houston. A lot of speed on the outside on both teams. And look, both teams play aggressive on defense. They like to bring people. And I tell you, Dave, if we didn't have a game tonight, this would be a must-see game. I heard John Varlas talk about it this morning with Eli. I'll tell you, Dave, this is going to be well worth the price of admission. And I think it'll be a close ball game, but I'm going to give Germantown tonight. I think Germantown got enough firepower to pull it off tonight at a hostile environment, which will be at Houston.
By the way, I disagreed with a couple of your picks last week, and you were spot on. So I tip my cap to you. Collierville is at Bartlett. They have not lost the Dragons. They got the quarterback who probably is the best player in the city at that position. They're taking on a Bartlett team with great defense, although they did get knocked off by you earlier this year. They rebounded really well and surprised me. You called it. I thought Lausanne would get them. That was not the case. Who will win that game tonight?
And this is another must-see game, Dave. You know, think about that Region 6. All 4 of these playoff teams are facing each other in the first league game. And so big crowd to be at Collierville tonight. Last year, I went over to the Collierville-Bartlett playoff game, and Bartlett handled Collierville pretty well last year. I think Coach Joe Riccone is going to have his guys ready to play. I think that game has probably been circled on their calendar because of the way they performed last year in that playoff game. And I'm expecting a big night out of Aiden Glover and Joakim Dotson. And Glover's the big tight end at Collierville. I think they'll get the offense going. I think Glover will use his legs and his arm, dual threat. But I'm telling you, Dave, I told you last week, Bartlett is a very, very good team, a lot of talent, a lot of speed on offense. I just figured they would get Lausanne because they just got some great athletes all around the board, and I just didn't think Lausanne had enough in the tank to keep pace with them. But I tell you, it's going to be one of those games you want to see, just like the Houston-Germantown game. I'm going to give the edge to Collierville. I think Joe Riccone have his guys ready to go enough, and they got their game in circle for a long time.
Mumford is 2-0. They're taking on a rejuvenated Melrose team, 1-1. Melrose has athletes and speed. Who wins this game?
Well, Melrose coming off a tough loss. Derek Bobo told me he lost his center early in the scrimmage, may be gone for the year. And, they had trouble snapping the ball. Our nose guard, Ketcher Miller, gave that center all they can handle. And I tell you, Mumford is tough on defense. They've always been good on defense. I'm going to give a nod to Mumford. I think it'll be tough sledding for Melrose if they can't get the center quarterback, the center exchange right. But it'll be a tough, tall task because Mumford's defense have always been very good. They'll fly the football, they'll swarm to the ball. I'm going to get a nod to Mumford. I think Mumford will keep pace, and they'll go 3-0 tonight.
Whitehaven is 1-1. They got destroyed by Tupelo, which is a great team, on the road last week. They got Arlington. They're 2-0. That's a tough game. Who wins this one?
I think Coach Salisbury and his guys will bounce back. Going on the road in Tupelo, Mississippi, it's a tall task, a tough environment. I think Rodney's got his guys regroup, he and his staff, and I think they'll go out tonight at Arlington and have a good showing and get back on the winning track. Because Rodney's still got a good team. They're young, but he got athletes. He got a great defense, 2 really, really good guards up front on offense. I think they'll get back on track tonight with a win at Arlington tonight.
Christian Brothers is 2-0. They're inching their way up in the Dandy Dozen standings. They're at Brentwood Academy tonight.
And Brentwood is 0-2, Dave. You got a 0-2 Brentwood team, a 0-2 Lipscomb team, and you got a 0-2 Montgomery Bell team. And, 3 of us Memphis teams are headed up tonight. And I tell you, Brentwood, Dave, they got a first-year coach, a lot of tradition in that program. It'll be the same thing around the corner tonight from us. Very, very hostile environment for Coach McDaniel and his staff. I think Brentwood gets back on the winning slide tonight because they've never – it's been a long time since they started off 0-3. So I think there's a lot of pride in that program, and the new coach will right the ship and get his first win tonight.
So you got Brentwood upsetting Christian Brothers at home. All right. White Station, a team that barely lost to Christian Brothers and then turned around and won the game. They take on an undefeated team in Cordova with their old coach having come back. Who wins that game? Last game of the day for Glenn Rogers Jr.
Well, I tell you, Rogers Bell, the former standout at the University of Memphis and Arizona Cardinals, coaching the D-line over at White Station, they did a tremendous job of keeping Christian Brothers in check that first week and had a chance to win that ball game. Christian Brothers pulled that ball game off the last few seconds of the game. But I tell you, the defense I saw last week with the way 2 weeks ago, the way White Station swarmed around and flew around and had some chances on offense to really put that game away against Christian Brothers, let some opportunities slip out the door on them. I think White Station pulls a win off. Their defense swarms.
Woo.
I think it's a close ball game, but I think White Station will prevail when it's all said and done.
That is Glenn Rogers Jr. on his way to Montgomery Bell Academy tonight. The L's will try to protect their 2-0 record. Good luck to you and all the guys. And, Glenn, we'll talk to you next Friday. Thank you much.
Absolutely. Go Owls and go Tigers go tomorrow against Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. That is for certain. This portion of the show brought to you by Eflin. There's a former Tiger and Glenn Rogers Jr. Eflin, by the way, is a former Tiger who's very much involved in supporting the Tigers. In fact, so much so, in his phone number, 901-386-GER, that's for the Tigers, which is 4777. He does insurance the collaborative way to protect you the best way he can. He gets to know you, your family, what your budget is, and what protection is really most important. And then he'll take care of you, whether it's home, auto, or life insurance. Same thing if you got a small to mid-sized business. He'll sit down with you. He'll collaborate. He'll find out about you, your product, your employees, what your budget is. He'll even forecast your business out. And then he'll protect you. All you got to do is make that call, 901-386-GER, for the Eflin Insurance team. We pause for just a second. When we come back, to Chicago we go. We talk some NBA with our agent from Priority Sports. That is Andy Schiffman, and he is right around the corner.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56, Real Sports Talk.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We welcome you back to Meadowbrook Country Club again. This is a big day for Mark Bartlett and all the crew here. If you come, take a look at a country club. Yeah, it's now going to be semi-private. Normally it's going to cost $59, including the card. But if you come today, you say Sports 56, you get a look at this gem, which is really about 12, 15 minutes from downtown. Midtown, it's 20 minutes. If you come take a look at this gem, you can play it. And you can be able to play it from now on. It began as a country club in 59. By the way, they have great food service here. They got practice facilities here. And this is an old-timey Southern Golf Country Club. It's cool. Come take a look. Get a a real peak for $39 if you come in and say Sports 56. To Chicago we shall go. Our friend, our agent from Priority Sports, Andy Schiffman, joins us now. Lots to talk about. Let's start with today. This Team USA, this FIBA World Cup, they win today over Montenegro. They were down at the half. They had to make a comeback. They win 85-73. Your guy Edwards scored 17 points all in the second half to bail them out. You know, Tyrese Halliburton had a big game. Triple J struggled, didn't get a rebound, and he's their center. He did make plays down the stretch. I think he ended up with 11 points, a big deflection, a block, a steal. So he did some good things, but, man, he couldn't rebound against the Bulls star, who was terrific in this game, Vukovic.
Yep. No, he's an excellent
Vukovic.
player. He's one of the – Vucevic is one of the league's best interior players, best rebounders, just his timing on everything, and he did a really good job against Jaren, like you said. But this Team USA is very well balanced. They're very deep. I know we talked about him last week, but one of my under-the-radar favorite guys on this team is Austin Reeves. Had another strong performance today. I think he had about 12 points in 24 minutes. He is, I think, due for a pretty big breakout season with the Lakers. So
here's what I was going to ask you about him. I mean, he's solidified his stature here. At the end of the year, he said all the right things about how great it is to play with LeBron. The thing that intrigues me about him is, isn't he in the midst of a free agent year? How much money can he get?
He signed an extension, actually, this offseason.
He already signed it? Okay.
Yeah. I want to say, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a 4-year, $50+ million deal, which is
that's a steal for him.
It's a great value for the Lakers because he is a phenomenal talent. He's obviously still very young. I forgot the exact number, so I don't want to misspeak. And I think it was 4 years, $56 million, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of the max that the Lakers could give him, given their financial situation and where Austin is in the league. But, he is a stud, and he is only going to keep getting better. And what I love about him, I've watched him a lot. We had Dennis Schroeder playing with him last year on the Lakers, and I remember him coming out of Oklahoma, watching him in Summer League. And if I remember correctly, he's undrafted, so keep that in mind. He's got great size.
Well, you know where he's from, don't you?
Where is he from? Somewhere in the South, right?
He's from about 50 or 60 miles from your birthplace.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's from a little town called Hickory, Arkansas.
That's right.
Nobody recruited him except for Greg Marshall at West Virginia at the
Wichita
at Wichita State. Nobody.
Yeah.
I remember when he came and he beat Memphis his freshman year at Wichita State, and I'm going, who the heck how come you're not at Memphis or Arkansas State at worst? And he goes, the only person that recruited me was Greg Marshall. And then, of course, he transferred and was undrafted, and now he's on the USA team. I mean, it's an unreal story.
It really is, and you love to see that, right? Because everyone talks about these top 5, top 10 social media superstar draft picks, elite level players from Duke, and now Alabama's in the mix there, and all these top prospects. And then you see a story like Austin Reeves and everything he's achieved, given where he was just 4 or 5 years ago. It is pretty remarkable, and it gives a lot of hope and brings a lot of optimism to really any player that's striving to be an NBA player, because he's just a blue-collar sort of player. I love watching the guy play. I was in Philadelphia 2 years ago, so his rookie year, and Philadelphia had a commanding lead the whole game. Austin Reeves, by himself in the fourth quarter, as a rookie, brought that game into overtime, and ultimately Philadelphia won. But his performance that game, just getting to the basket, getting steals, deflections, diving on the floor, knocking down huge three after huge three. You've got to have ice-cold veins to do that as a rookie on the road in Philadelphia. So he's got a really bright future. He's one of my favorite players to watch that I don't represent.
That you don't represent. At least I got that one right this week. But by the way, let me tell you one other nugget I heard. I don't know how accurate this is, but it makes you even think more of him as a hero. He's had a couple of dates with Taylor Swift, so that goes a long
I've seen
way
that
too,
on Twitter.
in my mind.
I don't know if he wants to end up in a song a year from now, but good for him, man. That guy's living life.
That's good. Yeah. He could be a song. All right. Were you surprised Montenegro gave the USA team such a tussle today?
I mean, not really. Nikola Vucevic is a big-time player, and all these games are competitive. Not super surprised. Because like I said, there's a lot of parity in FIBA, and we have Dennis Schroeder and Mauro Lowe, who's a German-born player playing in Italy, who's had sniffs in the NBA free agency market over the years, and they're leading Germany, and they're undefeated. Obviously, Santi Aldama with Spain. So it's not, we talked about it last week, right? It's not like the dream team. It's not like the prior years of Team USA, whether it's Montenegro, whether it's, Canada had some nice performances, Germany, Spain. All these teams are competing with Team USA, and I think the days of just Team USA running away with it are gone. I think those days are behind us. And so Team USA has a target on their back, but all these teams have talented players, both from the NBA, but domestically too. And you forget, over the last several years, call it even 10-plus years, these international players growing up in their home countries, take, for example, Montenegro and even Italy and France and Germany and Spain, they're significantly better than they were in the 90s, just based on the resources they have at their disposal. A lot of these countries now have these basketball institutes where they're just focusing on skill development at a very young age. And that's not only why you see the high level of talent in FIBA, but also a lot more and more you see these international players making a jump to the NBA, whether it's through the draft, whether it's through free agency, every single year. And so I think you're only going to continue to see more of that. And what that means is obviously in these FIBA events, the World Cup, the Olympics, it's very competitive, especially when you don't have a Team USA led by a LeBron or Durant or these elite level superstars. Don't get me wrong, all these players, and you mentioned Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Austin Reeves, our guy Bobby Portis, they're very, very talented players in the NBA, but just they're not necessarily laden with perennial all-stars like you used to see every year.
One of the things worries me about this team is their height. I think that was exposed by Vucevic today. I mean, they won the rebound battle 48-31. He had 15 rebounds. He was 18 and 15. And it makes me wonder, how much different will the Olympic team in Paris next year be from the one that we're seeing in this World Cup?
Well, I don't necessarily know if it'll be drastically different, Dave, but obviously you have to take a step back and reflect on the holes that you experienced this summer. And for sure, you hit the nail on the head. Rebounding is up there, and you have to find a way to address that and light a fire under these guys to just improve in that area, because when you get to the Olympics, it's anybody's game. And look, short of winning the gold medal, it's going to be, unfortunately, considered a disappointment if the Team USA does not win gold. And so you got to shore that up. I'll leave that to the coaching staff and our guy, Steve Kerr, and figure out how to do that. But as I said, so many of these international teams now are led by an NBA player and really, really talented local domestic players, and they're just not going to walk all over them, and they can't take it for granted. So, yeah, you mentioned Triple J. He's got to go out there, and they're relying on him to be one of their leading rebounders. And you got to step up in that area.
All right, one last thing here. The Grizzlies, 2 moves yesterday. They signed their second-round pick, G.G. Jackson. Here's the thing that sort of intrigued me a little bit was getting Shaq Harrison, the kid that played at Tulsa. We saw him as a collegiate player several times. He's supposed to be, really, I think he's a good ball handler, but he's really known for his on-ball pressure defense. This is, I'm guessing, a real sort of insurance policy for those first 25 games that you will not see John Morant.
Right. He's been Shaq Harrison's had a cup of coffee in the NBA and bounced around team to team because he is an elite level defender. No one is signing him to go out there and score 15, 20 points a game. You don't need that from him. You have other guys on your team to do that. If you're going to try and scratch and claw and be the 14th or 15th guy on a roster, you have to carve out a role for yourself. And he's done a really nice job of that, Shaq has, in just being someone that really just gets excited about defending the other player's best team, other team's best player, rather, and just being a versatile defender. And that's the way a guy like that carves out a role for himself and a career for himself in the NBA. Now, I could be off this, but realistically, I think he's probably someone that they're going to bring into training camp and then send to the G League with the hustle, just given the lack of roster spots the Grizzlies have. And I don't believe they have an open spot or the money to invest, any guaranteed money, rather, in Shaq. But he is someone that you could definitely see get a call up, whether it's to the Grizzlies or another NBA team, if that is the move, if that is someone that they did sign to what's called an Exhibit 10, where they kind of throw a little money his way, a nominal amount, to get him in their system and then have him play for the Memphis Hustle. But he is someone that has NBA experience that could help the team for sure.
And the Jackson signing, by the way, is a two-way deal. He will go directly to the Hustle, that is for sure. As always, my friend, enjoy the weekend. College football, crazy. Who's going to win the Rutgers-Northwestern game?
I got to go with Northwestern up here in Chicago, of course.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. I hope they can overcome their disarray. We'll talk next Friday. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dave.
You got it. That's our agent in Chicago. That is Andy Schiffman. He's brought to you by Sheldon. Ever thought how lucky you'd be if you could see what was coming before it got here? That's what you get with Sheldon Rosengarten, or as people call him, Sheldon. He's with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. Now, really, he can't tell you what will happen in the future real estate market, but he can sell a home no matter what the market is like, whether the interest rates are rising or falling, or the inventory is increasing or increasing. He's done this for so long. He knows what to do and when, and he's got that highly successful strategic marketing program. He'll tell you talk to 2 or 3 people. Make sure he's one of them. Go check it out at MemphisRelocate.com or call 483-0546. And the weekend is here, right? You're probably going to need to stock up for tailgating, watching college football, high school football tonight, whatever it may be. I got the place. I got the guy. It's Eddie Connor, Spirit Shop, Poplar and St. Nick. That's 4848 Poplar, to be exact. If you want to know about what's going on in the world of spirits, he'll tell you. He'll educate you. He'll tell you what's up and coming, like he did with Cornerstone for me several years ago. Or he'll tell you why Pappy's may be so valuable and how much it might cost you. But he's got some in the back if you're sweet. He can tell you about tequila. He can tell you about vodka. He can tell you about anything from high range to middle range to the bargains. I promise. Go get educated. And by the way, it's so easily located. You're in, you're out. East Memphis, the Spirit Shop. Tell Eddie we sent you. We're back in a minute. We will talk a little bit about this conference realignment and some Tiger football. That'll come your way with Brian Takis in a minute. We are at Meadowbrook Country Club. Come sign up with us, and you, if you mention Sports 56, go see Mark Bartlett. Tell him you're here to see this gem. They've just gone semi-pro in West Memphis. Come visit us.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Lonely feeling deep inside. Find a corner where I can hide. Silent footsteps crowding me. Sudden darkness, but I can see. No sugar tonight in my coffee. No sugar tonight.
Yeah. So sweet it is to be out here at Meadowbrook. They opened in 1959. You know, a few years ago, you couldn't get on this course. Now you got a chance to play it, and I'm just urging you to do this. I'd love for you to come today because it's $39 if you say Sports 56. This thing opened up in 59, like I say, it's been a country club, and it can be tough. Slope of 137. You can move up. There's other tee boxes. But the cool thing is, many of you hadn't had the chance to really see what it's like. Now you do. It's semi-private starting today, and $59. After today, that'll include card. But come take a look, and you'll get hooked, I promise, at Meadowbrook. I don't know, where are you, Brian Dacus? Are you home? Are you in studio like you normally come? Where are you?
I'm driving to the station now, Dave. Slow morning for me.
Slow morning. Okay, so here's the deal. I can understand why it's a slow morning. I'm sure depression has hit you like it did me. Mm-hmm. This thing with SMU leaving to go to the ACC, Cal and Stanford in there. I said earlier, I want your take, but this is a financial thing, part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the ACC made the move to make sure they kept that Granson right with the TV thing till 36. They had to add teams, and they found teams that were willing to come in for near nothing. Cal and Stanford, 30% of the rights fees, and Zippo% for SMU. Memphis cannot afford to lose somewhere between $50 and $200 million, like private $1 billion endowment SMU can.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, two of those teams are getting 30%, and SMU 9 years with nothing. I mean, there's only
nine? I thought it was 7. 9?
Whoa, 9 is what I'm seeing reported. So, I mean, there's only a couple of schools in the country that would be able to join a conference for 9 years without getting anything back. So, I mean, it's a move for the ACC for them to try to solidify themselves. I'm sure they're feeling some heat from schools like Florida State, North Carolina. I know was very against this move to add these 3 teams. So I'm sure they're feeling some heat with some of these teams. We remember those 7 schools that were banding together in an attempt to leave the conference. So I'm sure they feel some heat and want to add quick, and they found 3 schools that would fit.
Yeah. And again, I'll go back to what the president and the AD said earlier in the week in President Hargrave's op-ed, and that is pretty simple. This thing is fluid. Mm-hmm. It's not over yet, and Memphis has to just continue to be the best they can be at every sport. And hopefully their number gets called eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think at some point with all of the moves going around, Memphis has been there. Seems every time there's been expansion talk, Memphis has been right there. And so you got to think eventually with all of the improvements they're making to the athletic department that sometime soon their name's going to be called for one of these big-time conferences.
All right, tomorrow it starts. Mm-hmm. How good will Memphis football be this year? It's a pretty well a given, I think, that Memphis is going to beat Bethune-Cookman. It's just a matter of by how much, how do they look. They're basically going to have the ability to set up their rotation and to see who really should be a starter and who should come off the bench and that sort of thing. But what do you expect from this football team? We've made our predictions, both J-Mo and I, a little different route, but we both have them 9-3. How do you see it?
Yeah, we're going to do ours this afternoon, but I have them at 8-4, and that can change very easily. I mean, when you look at this schedule, I think you start off with a couple 3 wins that I think you should win pretty easily. I think Arkansas State could be a little difficult on the road. They've found a way to give the Tigers trouble over the last couple of seasons, but I think you start 3-0, and then it gets a little difficult there. Missouri, in St. Louis, and then Boise State and Tulane. I think on paper those are 3 losses, but I could easily see them winning 1 or maybe even 2 of those games, especially with Boise and Tulane being at home. And then a little down the road, I know I have them losing again to SMU later in the season. But now with this move, SMU going to the ACC, that might give the Tigers a little bit more to want to go out and beat them. So, I mean, I think 8-4 is what I had. I could very easily be moved to 9-3. I think this team's going to be really good. You look at the experience around what Silverfield has added through the transfer portal. I think will make immediate impacts at some key positions. And so last year, you know, we were having conversations on if this team would get bowl eligible and what kind of bowl they would get to. I don't think we're having those conversations this year because I think they comfortably get to a bowl game at 8 or 9 wins.
No, I think we're talking conference title. Bryant, thank you so much. We'll know a little bit more when we speak next week.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. That is Bryant Takis. You'll listen to him this afternoon from 3 to 6. Before I say goodbye and go play this beautiful Meadowbrook Country Club, I want to bring in the head golf professional. Don't play that music yet, Mr. J-Mo. Let me bring in Mark Bartlett, who is the head pro, former PGA Tour player, played at the great University of Illinois, and although Southern Illinois University probably should have been where he would have gone, considering, you know, that beautiful alma mater of mine. But how did you end up at Meadowbrook Country Club?
I was playing in the FedEx in 1991. Seems like 200 years ago now. Went out to dinner, met a girl.
It's always a girl, isn't it?
It's always a girl. Decided I needed to move to Memphis pretty quick, and I did. We got married. And one time coming home from the lake at Heber Springs, looked at my watch on a Monday morning and found out it was 30 minutes closer than where we lived in East Memphis and closer to her family, closer to the lake on my weeks off, and all of a sudden became a member of Meadowbrook Country Club in 1995 and was here for 6 years while I was still playing professionally. So this place has a very, very special place in my heart, and we're just wanting it to succeed. And being open to the public now, where you can come be a member for a day, we're going to treat you like kings and queens that you deserve to be. Miss Margaret in the bar and restaurant has been here for 36 years.
Wow.
So
great food, by the way.
Phenomenal food and even better service.
So let me ask you, because you love this place, that's partially why you're here. Why the move from country club to semi-private?
Attrition. Average age of our membership has gotten older. We've lost some people that have retired and moved away to other places. So the number of true memberships have gone down. And with the younger golfers, it's like sororities and fraternities. If you're not a legacy member where your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles are members of a country club, they don't want to join. They want to have the option to go play other places. Now we have finally become one of those options. And we think we're the best option from Midtown, Harbortown, Mud Island area. We're the quickest and easiest to get to. The pace of play is phenomenal. If we're busy on a Saturday or Sunday, you're getting around this place in 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes, tops.
You're going to love this golf course when they see it, aren't they?
Absolutely. It is a little hidden gem.
Give me 2 or 3 things I got to look for when I play today.
You better not miss the greens to the right, to the left, or long, or you're going to shoot a big number.
So be sure. Underclub, huh?
Every time. That's your only viable opportunity to get it up and down. Right. It's difficult. It's short, but it's extremely difficult.
Bottom line is you get a chance to see what a country club in West Memphis has been around since '59 for $39 if they say Sports 56 when they come in today, right?
Absolutely.
And then after that, it's $59 and $350 a month if you want to become a member and you live downtown, right?
Perfect. Get across the bridge, enjoy the pool, enjoy the pickleball, enjoy the tennis courts, and especially enjoy the restaurant. The restaurant is phenomenal.
Thank you, my friend. Best of luck. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you for being here, Dave. Much appreciated.
That is Mark Bartlett. He's brought to you in part by the good folks at Grind City. Again, the weekend's here. Toast the weekend with my favorite, Poppy's Pills. The Pilsner that is just what the doctor ordered. You know, Grind City is the taste of Memphis. They got the God Hopper. That's the Indiana Pale Ale. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. Or, if you like the Blue Moon thing, the Belgian-style wheat ale called Belga. There's the Tiger Tail craft malt liquor, not like your father's craft malt liquor, I promise you that. Go check it out downtown. It's a beautiful place in its own right. See the view of the bridge. You got this great place to picnic, and the brewery itself is really cool. Taste of Memphis, Grind City. We'll see you tomorrow night at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium as we bring in the football season. Get out here today, play Meadowbrook. You'll fall in love with this place. Johnny Radio is next. Have a great weekend, everybody.